second phase of user authentication, we are going to discuss about biometrics, different types of biometrics, characteristics of biometrics, and of course important features of biometric authentication systems. As we know, biometrics involves something a person is or a person does. Nowadays, biometrics is computerized method of recognizing an individual. There are different types of biometrics. Fundamentally, two types of biometrics, namely physiological biometrics, for example, fingerprints, face, retina, iris, and behavioral biometrics, example, gait, signature, are the two important fundamental types of biometrics. Physiological biometrics refers to what the person is, or they measure the physical parameters of certain parts of the body. Whereas here in fingerprints, iris, retina, hand geometry, face are some examples of this physiological biometrics. Whereas behavioral biometrics shows how the person is using the body for authentication. Examples are Keystroke Dynamics, mouse dynamics, signature, gait, voice. These are all some of the behavioral biometrics. There is another type called esoteric biometrics, which is another class of biometrics. Some examples of this type are vein pattern, body odor, brain wave pattern, facial thermography, skin luminance, finger nail bed, ear shape, footprint, then foot dynamics, lip print, lip movement, knee creases, elbow creases, sweat pores, tooth, etc. There are certain other biometrics, they are known as the soft biometrics, are also available. Soft biometrics is not distinct and permanent. They are not enough to uniquely identify a person. Soft biometrics, when combined with primary biometrics like face, fingerprint, iris and retina, gives better results. Examples of soft biometrics involves age, height, weight, body fat content, eye color, skin color, scar, tattoos, marks, etc. All these biometrics add meaning to the phrase "our body as password." So, biometric traits like fingerprint, retina and iris have certain merits compared to other biometrics because they can be employed in specific applications. Fingerprints are largely universal. Fingerprints are unique even for identical twins. Fingerprints are reliable, easy to measure, and impact high user convenience. Moreover, fingerprint capturing devices are inexpensive. Fingerprint scanners are more accurate, faster, and they require less computation and storage facilities. Fingerprint is one of the most accepted form of biometrics. Iris provides high speed of comparison and it is well suited for one-to-many identifications. The iris templates are more stable and have more template longevity. Iris templates need not be updated frequently and a single enrollment can last a lifetime. Iris has a fine texture. Even genetically identical individuals have completely independent iris textures unlike DNA. Next is retina scanning. It is quite accurate and it is unique to each individual like iris. The retina patterns are unique and difficult to duplicate. A retina scan cannot be faked as it is currently impossible to forge a human retina. Furthermore, retina of a deceased person decays too rapidly to be used to deceive a retina scan. Retina, being the internal organ, is less prone to damage also. Therefore, retina is more suitable for high security applications like military, access to power plant and other high security government applications. Each type of biometrics has its own advantages and limitations. Now we'll compare the different types of biometrics. For example, the physiological and behavioral biometrics. Each one has got its own advantages and limitations. First, we will take the physiological type of biometrics. Physiological biometrics can be spoofed. Difficulties in implementing them. It is expensive. It requires special hardware. It is more intrusive. Whereas behavioral biometrics are difficult to distinguish a live user from a recorded person. Most of the systems under this require a special device, and it is cost prohibitive, and it can be forged also. When you look at the advantages of behavioral biometrics over physiological biometrics, behavioral biometrics has an edge over its counterpart, which is the physiological biometrics, on the capacity to work in secrecy mode verification. The way people do things such as speaking like voice, typing rhythm like Keystroke Dynamics, writing like signature, and walking style as gait recognition are some examples. Behavioral biometrics, such as the way one signs a name or types a password, are unique, as well as they have much lower impact on privacy and costs. The approach and the method in which one types on the computer keyboard varies from individual to individual, and it is considered to be a unique feature as far as behavioral biometric is concerned. Behavioral biometrics finds its applications in many areas like financial institutions, businesses, government facilities, and retail POS, point of sales, etc. Unlike many types of physiological biometrics, behavioral biometrics can be embedded with its existing hardware, and it requires only software analysis. This capacity makes the behavioral biometrics simpler and less costly to implement compared to other user authentication mechanisms.